This is Gary Butterfield.
This is Cole Ross.
And this is Monster in My Podcast.
And this is The Phoenix.
There's a monster in my podcast.
Gary, I have a lot of fondness for the Phoenix. I like the Phoenix as a mythological beast.
Tell me about that.
It's a big.
I'm going to psychoanalyze you.
It's a big fiery bird that
Why do you think
even
that?
when it even when it dies.
What led you to believe that?
Well, okay. I mean, it's a very pervasive myth.
Have you always thought that?
At least
all just question. That's the only way to do the psychoanalysis.
At least. Wow, I've really been overpaying my therapist.
Yeah,
I could
gotta get a talk boy with the play button taped down.
I was about to make some kind of joke about a magic 8-ball, but it would have to be a reverse magic 8-ball that is just the questions, and then I realized that is just oblique strategies.
Yeah, magic cue ball.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
So it's big fiery bird, big fucking whoop.
I think they're cool. I like of the real world mythological things. This is kind of neat, you know?
Yeah, he's okay. It's a little one note.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially here mechanically, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely one note here and definitely one note thematically. Like it feels somehow a little on the nose to have a creature who symbolizes resurrection and have its one thing be resurrection. You know, like it just comes back.
Yeah.
And there's always
but that's
things
why
like
it symbolizes resurrection.
Well, other things like rabbits symbolize fertility, and it's just because
they fuck all the time.
That's like 1 degree removed though, because they can symbolize resurrection is very specific. It feels like, and fertility could be like a bounty.
Yeah.
Like you could have like a bread shop that has a rabbit on it, and you're like, this bread can fuck. And then, but if somebody comes back from the dead, though, you're like, oh, they're a real phoenix.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, they're a zombie if they come back from the dead.
I guess that's true.
Gary, I'm not going to move on this. I've held this opinion for probably 23 years.
I'm not trying to move. I'm just going to move on it. I think they're all right.
Yeah.
It's. As far as mythological birds, yeah. What is it competing with? A rock? Who gives a shit?
The Thunderbird.
Yeah, Thunderbird.
Yeah.
That's just that's not. That doesn't even resurrect. It's even one step less. It's just a bird with thunder.
You're setting up all kinds of weird metrics that I like that these birds need to live up to. It's like the shifting goalposts that I can't.
Fucking bird law, man. Like it's a bird. It has to be. I mean, it's the same. I don't see any reason to treat birds with a lesser standard of quality than any other monster in the monster manual.
I don't know.
If this were a horse that was just on fire and was reborn,
it would still be pretty cool. I think it would still be pretty cool.
Cooler than a regular horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
They're
cool. I'll give you. They're cool. They're cool. I gotta give it to you. They're cool, buddy. They're cool.
Okay, geez. Just so we can stop this.
So, yeah.
Also, it's always one of the more useful summons in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to work for it.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But this entry is mostly some of the mechanics of this. He's got just a tremendous amount of spell-like abilities. Like this is like a campaign ending enemy. If it is an enemy, like this is like it's a god is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of got a little of that Quattle thing, like where it's just like this really, really super wise, intelligent, good bird thing that can come and fix players.
Yeah.
Because it's not a campaign ending thing, because it's a good guy.
That's what I mean. That's why I corrected myself. Like this is it is supposed to be a god, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to the point where like you can call one if you're a priest, which this is something that I love. That gives all of the details about this, saying like, hey, it depends on how far away they are when you call them. It's not like they teleport or whatever. What I love the most is it says when the spell has expired, the Phoenix does not disappear, but it is then free to do what it will. Yep. And I'm imagining a Phoenix that very much outstays its welcome. Just like the Phoenix comes and then, kills.
It wants to do it.
Like kills the Lich and like, okay, well, where are you guys going next? I'm down for anything.
Yeah. Just,
let's keep the party going, man.
It's like a dealer. You can just, what are you doing? You guys want to go see a movie? Like, no. I'll set it on fire. You're real big. And then the Phoenix like gets in a trench coat and tries to sneak into the movie, and everyone gets kicked out, and the Phoenix thinks it's okay because they can go to a bar, but like
but it's
tomorrow.
Kind of casts a pall over the entire thing. Like I don't know, I don't feel great after I get kicked out of an establishment.
Here. Yeah. Yeah, I like that bit. It's and they I like their life cycle. Like they're functionally immortal. Like that's just the same phoenix that's been hanging around.
Yeah,
forever,
it's like
'cause it keeps getting
it's like one of
reborn.
those jellyfish, right?
Yeah, or those air plants, like ancient air plants. Plants. I wish there was a little bit more done with. So like the wrinkle, the attempted wrinkle in the Phoenix as presented in the Monstrous Manual, is the idea that it's supposed to not just be about rebirth. It's supposed to be about how like rebirth through destruction.
Right.
But
right.
there's not like it's destruction of the Phoenix, but that doesn't seem like a cost.
Yeah, it's destruction by the gigantic firestorm that it summons around itself.
Well, it can do that.
Yeah.
It does it to like evil armies and shit. I just wish there was more like collateral damage.
Yeah,
you know, like
that particular part is couched in like the whole habitat and society part of this is trying to explain like what societies of different alignments think about this one particular thing. So for good folks, it's all about, rebirth, whereas if you're evil, it represents this destruction, right?
And I think the fact that the manual codifies an alignment and says that it just helps good people, it kind of like makes me think that's less good.
Yeah.
Just because it answers the question. It is cool that if it did things that were open to interpretation.
Yeah.
But this kind of like says like, no, it's not open to interpretation. It's just another like lawful good genius bird.
Yeah.
Like this book is crawling with these
just
things.
Lousy with them.
Yeah, it's really weird. I never thought I would be as sick, like not as sick as like humanoid things. We got something in this recording section that's a real bummer. But like just like we have a lot of like lawful good genius birds that just help good adventurers.
Right.
This is a little bit more flavorful, for sure. So I like it because of that. But
yeah, I would definitely prefer a version of the Phoenix that is beyond moral or mortal concerns.
What about the Phoenix Force? Like. That's what that is.
Kind of, yeah. But I mean, just the fact that it is forever means that like it's looking at things on a much grander scale. I want the Phoenix as a Lovecraftian beast.
Yeah. Even if it was like generally good, like a Lovecraft, like the greater good.
Yeah.
The greater good is not interesting. The greater good is interesting. And that would have been a good rule to kind of follow with these things. I wonder if these things got an entry in the updated like the Volo's Guide. Because there's enough here to where I think you could do a cool take on them.
Oh, you could, yeah.
Yeah, because even especially since they're functionally immortal, what do humans' lives mean at all? Like you could be a good DM and make this work.
Yeah.
You just have to be like, no, they don't. Like there's an orc army and he summons a phoenix, and like, what does the phoenix care? Like that orc army is going to kill a bunch of humans, which are going to cause like fertilize the soil, and in 100 years, like this will be a verdant forest. Like who cares about this village?
Right.
That's the way to do them.
Yeah. Find these greater scope justifications.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Hey, Gary, I know we're trying to keep these episodes short, but can I do a little bit of follow-up?
Oh, yeah.
Remember during the Peryton we talked about that Borges book?
I do.
Yeah, I bought that book. It's pretty good.
Oh. Is it good?
It's not as like fantastical as you would imagine it would be, based on the fact that it's Borges and magical realism and stuff. It's more of just like a standard bestiary that's like very well sourced about what what these different historians or not historians, but like philosophers and people from ancient times, thought of these things in particular places, mixed in with like some fictionalized small little bits of prose. Like it is entirely meant to be like read like random access style. I bought it's like $10 on Amazon. It's the Book of Imaginary Beings. Very good.
Oh, take a look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Phoenix is in here. That's why I'm bringing it up now.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Does it have any additional spin?
Yeah, it tells a couple of different versions. Like it talks about like how it came out of Egypt is the thing, and just like actually like gives different locations of where the different like sun temples would have flown from, how it hatches from an egg that is kind of encased in myrrh, and then when it's about to die, it packs itself in myrrh again, and it flies from the easternmost point of the world to the westernmost point of the world. So it's almost like a sun god kind of thing.
Myrrh. Huh.
Yeah.
Haven't had myrrh in since 10 years ago this very night. Myrrh. Honey, do we have myrrh?
Brought to you by our backers at patreon.com/duckfeed.tv.